All right, let's jump right in. Today we're talking about something every single one of us deals with in our professional lives, rapport. And we all kind of think we know how to do it, right? But what if I told you that everything you've been taught about building it is actually wrong? What if it's actually hurting you? Yeah, let's get into this. So let me ask you, when you sit down with a client or a patient or a customer, what's your first move to build that connection? What's your go-to strategy? Just think about it for a sec. I'm gonna bet it looks something like this, right? You try to find common interests. Maybe you get into some friendly chit-chat, some casual conversation, a little small talk. The whole idea is to be relatable, to kind of show them, hey, I'm just like you. And look, that's what we're all taught. It's the standard playbook. But here's where it gets really interesting. The source material for this explainer drops a bombshell. While you're over there trying to be all friendly and find common ground, your client is doing something completely different. They're judging you. And all that small talk, it might be the very thing that's making them respect you less. So this is the real problem with chit-chat. It seems harmless, it's well-intentioned, but it can just completely backfire. And it happens more than you'd think. Let's break down exactly why. Yeah, our source calls it opening a can of worms, and that's such a perfect way to put it. You know how it goes, a simple, innocent question about a family photo on your desk, and suddenly you're 10 minutes into a conversation about your kid's soccer game. It completely derails the entire point of the meeting and takes you so far off track from why your client is even there. And the consequences of that? They're actually pretty serious. First off, appointments run late. That's a huge waste of time for everybody. It makes you look, well, unprofessional, disorganized, even. But the biggest problem, the real damage, is that it just slowly chips away at your expertise. It undermines your authority.
Okay, so if chit-chat is the problem, what's the solution? This is where our source introduces a really powerful idea called the expert focus method. And believe me, this is a total 180 from how most of us think about building professional trust.
So we're basically creating a new definition here. Expert rapport, it has nothing to do with shared hobbies or liking the same band. No, it's a professional connection that's built on one thing, and one thing only. A shared, singular, intense focus on solving the client's problem. That's it. That's the whole game. And you can see the difference so clearly here. You've got the old chit-chat model where the goal is just finding common ground. It feels friendly, sure, but it can make you look like you're not serious. And then you've got the expert focus model. The goal? Solve the client's problem, period. The conversation is tight, it's focused, and the result? People see you as a real expert. Someone they can truly respect. And this really is the core of it, isn't it? The old way says you have to go looking for some random common interest. This new way says, nope, you already have it. The common interest isn't some hobby you have to dig for. It's the problem they brought to you. It's the reason they're sitting right in front of you. I love this quote from the source. It talks about a patient's hearing because it was written for an audiology context, but just swap that out for your own profession. If you're a lawyer, the overlapping interest is the case. If you're a web developer, it's the website. See? You don't have to find common ground, you're already standing on it. But this whole idea isn't just about the words you use. It's bigger than that. It's about the entire environment you create. You can actually signal this expert focus before you even say a single word. And there's a pretty straightforward 3-step process for this. Step 1, declutter. Get rid of anything that doesn't need to be there. Step 2, and I know this one's going to be tough for some people, remove personal items. And finally, step 3, you got to be ready to steer the conversation back on track when it starts to wander. So what does that actually mean? Well, for example, the author talks about hiding their diploma, not because they're not proud of it, but because it just sparked too many off-topic questions. Same thing with family photos. They're great, but they invite conversation about your life, not the client's problem. The whole point is to create this bubble of focus, a space that is 100% about them. Okay, so let's wrap this all up. What is the end result of adopting this new way of thinking about rapport? This is really the ultimate takeaway here. So what's the big payoff? Well, it's massive. First, Your client's respect for you and your time goes through the roof. Second, how they see you as an expert, that skyrockets too. And finally, everything just becomes so much more efficient. No more wasted time. Every single second is focused on what really matters. So here it is, our new definition of professional rapport. It's not about being buddies, it's that deep, powerful trust a client feels when they know, absolutely know, that you are 100% focused on solving their problem. That focus, that's the real connection. That's the rapport you want. And that brings us to the final thought I want to leave you with. Obviously, every job is different. So what does this look like for you? In your profession, where is that line between a personal connection and this kind of expert focus? Really think about it. How can you use this idea to build even stronger trust with your clients? Something to chew on. Thanks for watching.